Hey everybody, long time no chat. It's your host Nikki and I, Flossie, here to talk to you on today's the Assumption Effect podcast. The topic of discussion will be over consuming content, which seems to be a significant issue in the manifestation community, especially for folks that are new.
Even folks that aren't new. I've been getting a lot of people that have been at this since 2020, 21, 2019, and they're still, well, this new coach said this, and then I watch this, and that, and they get confused. And a big issue that I'm seeing is I have clients actually tell me, I think I watch more manifestation stuff than I actually persist or affirm myself. And that's an issue, guys. If you're in school, for example, you're studying, obviously you want to study manifestation, you want to learn it, you want to eat, sleep, and breathe it. I get it because it's our lifestyle, right? That's what we do. However, if you're studying for a test or you're in high school or college or whatever, there's a thing called breaks. You don't have to watch content from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. In fact, most of the time, even in school, you're in class for about 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. And then you get breaks in between classes, and then you have the weekends. You don't need to overconsume to the point where you're watching this day in and day out. Go watch a damn Netflix show or something. Do something else.
Well, I mean, I'm hearing that a lot also, where people are saying, I'm seeing this coach and this coach is saying this, and now I'm really confused. Like I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. And I'll have a coaching call with somebody, and they're doing what I said initially, and it's really working for them. And then they're on TikTok or they're somewhere, and they see someone said this and it worked for them, so then they want to try it. And it's like, first of all, you're using the content. I think as a procrastination tool. Instead of like doing what you need to do, you're just avoiding, using the tools or doing the affirming because maybe there's some discomfort there. And, Nikki and I have talked many times, either on our own platforms or together, about like having discomfort while manifesting and why that happens. Well, procrastinating and over consuming a ton of content is not going to change your mindset for you faster because it's the repetition of thought that's going to change your mindset. It's using the tools that's going to help you to push through the discomfort. You're just procrastinating at the end of the day, or you're in this state of desperation where, you think, well, I haven't seen enough movement in my, they'll be like, in my opinion, I haven't seen enough movement. So what I'm doing must not be working. And it's like, no, what you're doing is likely working. You just haven't seen the 3D conform yet. Why? Because your dominant thought is in the process of changing. And so stop flip-flopping with what you're doing based on what these croaches are telling you. Did I tell you I came up with that word croaches? I
No,
was making a video and
I thought
I
you
went
just
to say
mispronounced
cockroach
it.
and coaches. I went to say like roaches and coaches at the same time, and it's croaches. So, the coaches that need to just crawl back under the rock of which they came, because many of them don't understand manifestation and aren't teaching it properly. That's who's putting out a lot of content and like getting people really confused.
Yeah, and we're not going to sit here and toot our own horn, but Flossie and I worked really hard for the degrees that we hold, and they both are in behavior and psychology and that realm of things. We know what we're talking about when we're talking about, hey, your mindset needs to actually change. If you're just watching any Tom, Dick, and Harry on Facebook, you don't know who they are. And maybe you don't know who we are either. And that's fine. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like Flossie. Maybe we're not your cup of tea. There are reputable coaches out there that you can watch, but you don't need to watch all 50 that posted a video today. You don't need to scroll content, how to manifest SP, how to manifest money. I need this quick. And just go down the rabbit hole of next video, suggested next video until you feel like you're completely losing it. Most of the time, the reason you're not seeing in the 3D movement in the 3D is because not only are you procrastinating, but you're confusing yourself because you may be flip-flopping to somebody that's LOA, law of attraction, or maybe law of belief or law of assumption or whatever freaking laws are out there. I don't even know what's going on out there. I don't watch YouTube. I don't watch content at all unless I don't even watch my own. I record it and I upload it. I don't care if I messed up. I don't care what I say, and I don't care what I look like. Because you know what? I'm speaking facts. I'm speaking truth. And Flossie's the same way. I don't think you edit your
Well, I
video.
edit my shit though.
Oh,
I
well,
do. I edit my shit.
I don't edit mine. Uncensored. You'll hear my dog
I
in the background.
I actually keep most of the video, like I actually cut out very little. It's either pauses when I'm trying to, really put the words together what I'm saying, or if an animal disrupts something really loud and it's just to the point where I just need to like start that part that I was talking about again. But
No, that makes sense. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. We're here. You get what you get, right? Oh my God. You guys can't see it because this is the podcast, but her dog just jumped up and her hair is ridiculous right now. She's so cute.
well, I just bathed her and she's a hot mess express, as you can tell.
Peaches, look at
Yeah,
that face.
Peaches, your and her hair sticking up. Yeah, she's the center of attention right now. No, now back to the podcast.
Yeah, sorry, sorry. I see animals and I'm like, woo. So,
It's her squirrel moment, honestly.
right. I'm easily distracted. It's fine though, because you can still manifest that way. Anywho,
Absolutely.
over-consuming content, take a freaking break. Seriously, guys, like you don't have to watch a video as soon as it uploads. Flossie and I get paid from what you watch on YouTube, and so do the other coaches. And how much would we love them to just run our videos over and over and over again, and we'll make all this YouTube money. That's not what we want you to do. We put it up there so that you can learn and then apply, not keep rewatching and rewatching and rewatching until you think that you figured it out. Not going back to it 6 months later because you think you missed something. Yeah, it's there for you, but there's such thing as over consuming.
Well, and I understand like when we're on this journey, we're trying to get like a deeper understanding of law of assumption, what it really is, how it works for us, and things like that. And a good portion of that is going to come from you figuring out you in your journey over time. You know, one of the things that is an issue with some of the content out there is just like Nikki was pointing out, it's different coaches from different theories of manifesting, or different, theories about how, quote unquote things work. And, not everybody is accurate as far as law of assumption is concerned. And I mean, I think that, we've talked about it before, but a lot of times, those other methods, for lack of a better word, seem to work because it's that person's assumption that it does. And that's what a lot of people who are out there manifesting actually don't understand, is your entire 3D reality is made up of your dominant thought and or assumption on that actual topic. And so if you actually have the assumption that you've got to feel it real in order to manifest, guess what? That is how it's going to seem to you. Well, there are coaches out there that is the assumption that they have formed. And so that is what they teach, but that is not actually accurate as far as what is necessary to manifest. And so when you're over consuming content and you're watching all these fly by night coaches who are popping up and springing up overnight, you don't know whether they actually truly understand manifesting or not, because Nikki and I teach basically the same thing at the end of the day if you boil it down. And it's the same thing that like Sammy Ingram teaches, who we coach for. And it's you change your dominant thought and your 3D reality is going to conform to that. And that is like one of the absolutes of manifestation, is your 3D reality is comprised of your dominant thoughts and assumptions on that topic. And so when you're out there watching other people and you're consuming a bunch of content, it can very easily lead to being confused and then thinking that what you're doing is wrong, and then you trying all these new things, and then what it happens is you cause your own unintentional delay. So essentially over consuming content, whether it's from procrastination, trying a bunch of things because you think they might work, and then seeing that they're not, does what causes your own unintentional delay. At the end of the day, I mean, that's kind of what it boils down to, which is why we're making this video, because we don't want you to not get your shit, or get your shit as quick as you could, because you're spending all this time watching content instead of affirming and persisting, or you're watching content maybe from people who are not proven or not reputable. A lot of people out there, they learned about law of assumption, they
through us.
Didn't well, many actually through us, yes, didn't fully end up putting it into practice and really developing a deep understanding of how it works. And then they're trying to teach it based on a little things that they picked up here and there, or assumptions that they made over time that are just actually their own assumptions and very limiting, but they don't recognize that because they don't fully understand the law of assumption. Nikki and I will sit here and flat out tell you, hey, we're not trying to intentionally limit you. This is how we understand this. This is how it works for us, but this doesn't necessarily have to be true for you. We literally say that. We
Mhm.
say that in plenty of our videos. We say the tools that we teach are not necessary, but at the end of the day, for many people, it makes it easier to manifest. Why? Because we have assumptions about our emotions, feelings, and how things work. And Nikki and I teach from those perspectives of, our mind, we have the assumption that it works this way. And this is a tool that you can help, that you can use to help you on your journey. Why? Because you already have this assumption about your mind. So why not make your journey easier and potentially faster by doing some of these things? And a lot of our clients would attest that they use these tools, and guess what? Their shit comes in more rapidly. But, that's Nikki and I. Some of these other coaches out there, they're just, I mean, you've seen our videos where we talk about some of these things that they tell people, that you have to lose somebody in your 3D reality in order to manifest, that you have to like completely feel it real, that you have to believe it 100% to be true. All of those things are false. But yet when you listen to someone say that and they're in a position to trust because they're on YouTube or they're on TikTok or they've got, 5,000 followers, it's like, oh, well, they've manifested that way, so it must be right. No, the fuck it's not.
No. And the thing is, I also teach, when people come to me and they're in that state of confusion, I go off their current mindset and I figure out, okay, what's the best way for you to manifest based on who you are as a person, where your mindset currently is. So we do, Flossie and I both, we affirm, but we're both open to scripting, to EFT tapping, to all the different techniques that are out there because we know it's not one size fits all for everybody. But dominantly, yes, we teach to affirm because that's the quickest, most of the time, the quickest way to change your dominant thought and assumption is because you're already naturally thinking anyway. However, we're not against those things. It's just you don't need to have someone else create your scene and call it a whole different technique when really at the end of the day, it's just visualizing. Or somebody telling you a set of affirmations is this is a magical phrase you can say. It's just affirming. It's not some weird spell. Like, watch our other videos if you want to learn how to create affirmations and all those things. Anyway, I think this has become too long-winded of a subject because Flossie and I could go on and on and on and on about why overconsumption and following the wrong people or letting the blind lead the blind is going to be bad for your journey. Take a break. Take a manifestation vacation from the content. Go step on grass. Go outside. Do something. So, until next time,
I
guys.
mean, I agree exactly. Stop causing your own unintentional delay. And then Nikki's saying, well, bye. Say bye,
Yeah.
Nikki.
Peace. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.